Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, and this is Tattle Tales from the Vector. This is a general or collective reading, so parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and just leave the rest. This is also a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That might give you further clarity as to what's happening now. So we have, for the underlying energy, the Six of Wands. This is a card of victory. The element is the element of fire, and the wands are made of wood because wood feeds fire. This energy is talking about action being taken, and you are considered a leader. And you've won. So this is a card of victory. And the reason you won is because you were able to rein in your emotions and discipline your mind to keep your shift together through a difficult time. And the people in the background here are, some of them are a little disgruntled. This could represent like a competition, like a sporting event. It could be a promotion that a lot of people wanted at work, and you're the one who got it, that kind of energy. So this is, they have to admit that you showed some real leadership skills and that you deserve it, even though they wanted it. And then, so that's an overlying or underlying energy for the reading. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is sitting on her throne. She is one of four queens in the Minor Arcana. Her element is the element of Pentacles. This is the element of Earth. So she represents health, wealth, and happiness in the 3D. This is representing, she's known to be very, very resourceful and is admired for that. She can make something out of nothing. Plus, this is talking about she prefers quality over quantity. And this, and so this is like generational wealth. It's a legacy that would be passed down from your child to your children's children. And it's like old money, so it's not like flashy. It's just, having, like using money as a tool. And then we have the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands is saying that this person has a heavy load here. Now, the thing is about this card, it can be good and bad, basically. He has a heavy load, and it's because the seeds that you plant are from the actions that you take or the actions you don't take, and sometimes the actions of others that you take on. This energy is kind of the harvest from all of that. So there's, you plant the seed, and then whatever happens, and it grows, and hopefully there's fruit of your labors here, and that's why it's so heavy. So this person is almost home with his load here, but he is really tired. It's very heavy to carry, been a lot of work to gather up. And he is so close, like his head's right in there. So if you've ever heard the saying, can't see the forest because of the trees, what that means is you're so focused on the details of something that you can't see the big picture anymore. What he can't see is that he's almost home here. So this card is saying you're almost there. You almost have your harvest. And hopefully a lot of this harvest is beneficial to you. And if he just put it down for a minute and took a rest, or, peeked around the corner, he'd see he's like very, very close to home, and he would probably just be able to get there quickly. Now, the thing is, some of these wands might be burdens from other people that he's carrying, and usually those are the heaviest. And so this is the energy of, if you are in a situation like this, it's this card, when it shows up, it's saying that if you're carrying burdens that belong to other people, it's time you put them down. Call them up and tell them, if you want, that, I put your burdens down in the field. Go pick them up. Don't expect them to be happy you put their burdens down, because people, who let other people carry their burdens prefer it that way. So it's that type of energy. And it could also be like a situation where, say perhaps you purchased a house 5 years ago, and it was the perfect house, and you got it for a really good price, and it's gone up in value. but you want to sell it now. You've lived there for 5 years, you've enjoyed it, but you want to move on to other things. And maybe the market's a little bit soft and it needs some work. So it's kind of like, it's holding you up from being able to move forward. And if you don't do the work, you're not going to get the money out of it that you want to. So it's kind of that kind of burden. It's burdensome, but it still is an asset. So it's kind of that kind of energy. So sometimes your circumstances just change. Sometimes projects work out really well, and this could be heavy with the fruit of, of your labor. And sometimes it could be other people. And then we have this energy of the High Priestess. So the High Priestess energy is talking about, the High Priestess is sitting between these two pillars. And these represent two extremes. And this is really extreme because this represents Jesus and this represents the devil. So there's a lot of information coming in here. And this represents, in the background there, that represents all the information coming in. And it's, information equals energy. Like a lot of people will say, oh, it feels like time sped up. Well, it's because we have access to information at the click of a mouse now. Click of a finger where like, bang, we've got information. And especially now with the AI, it's speeding up some more. And so this energy, it's changing a lot of dynamics. And so people are having to get, used to doing things again in a slightly different way. And that there's a lot of that energy out there right now. So she has to get neutral to all that and sort through this information. And she has infinite potential here, to the power of infinity and beyond. She just has to sort through it and be neutral enough to the information as it's coming in to be able to make strong choices based on her creative solutions. So that's a combination of using her logic and her intuition. And so the High Priestess sits next to God, and she follows the cycles of the moon, particularly at the new moon and the full moon. We're at our most intuitive, and she knows this. And that's this is saying that you need to use your intuition more. And then we have the Six of Cups. This card has been coming up a lot in the readings lately, and I feel, in a way, like part of it is, I feel like a nostalgia almost for the past. Like this, we just, like on April 25th, we just, which is yesterday, when this reading comes out, it'll be the 26th, and we had the planet Uranus moved into Gemini, into the sign of Gemini. And it hasn't been in the sign of Gemini since 1941 to 1949. So now it's back in Gemini, and it's a very, it can be like a real shocking change, and it can have a huge, the 1941 to 1949 was the World War II energy. And you look at what the planet's going through now. And, we have a lot happening on the planet right now. So it's that kind of energy where it's unsettling a little bit. And so this energy that's coming in from this is saying, like, some people are feeling, I feel a little bit nostalgic about the past, and they can't even believe that they're saying that. If you're nostalgic about 2020 to 23, then we know we're in trouble, right? So this energy, though, is talking about, it can be about, it's talking about reconciliation. So reconciliation would imply that someone needs to be forgiven, or there needs to be healing of the heart in some way, an apology. But you could forgive someone, and that doesn't mean that you are going to reconcile with them. You can forgive someone and just say, I forgive you. You don't even have to tell them. You just do it for yourself, so you're not carrying this burden anymore. And so the reconciliation, this Six of Cups, is kind of representing that. Quite often it'll be someone, a romantic partner, or some ex coming back into your life, because this does represent cups. And the cups in the tarot represent quite often romantic love. It could be love of anyone or anything, or even something you love to do or be. And this energy, when you first, it can talk about like your childhood quite a bit too, like growing up, and maybe some healing that needs to be done there for your inner child. So when you look at this card, when you first see it, you're thinking, wow, there's two children playing, and they're playing with these potted plants, and someone's watching over them. But then you look more closely and you realize, wait a minute, that's a gnome, and this is a little lady. And this little woman here, she, if you look at her from the back, she looks like an old hag. And when you look at her from the front, she looks like a young woman. And the old hag, they're wearing this white mitt, and this white mitt represents not wanting to get their hands dirty. So neither one of them wants these flowers, and they're not really his to give away. And the old hag is like, she's like, we don't want your stupid flowers, get away from us. But the young woman is explaining as nicely as she can. She's being as nice as she can be. And this is talking, are you still in an energy of people-pleasing? Like if you've gone through a challenging time with someone, are you still being nice to them? And this is kind of the energy talking about when people come in from the past. People generally do show you who they are the first time around. So this is saying be careful of that energy, because right now, the way the universe is, there's a lot of people out of sorts, and there's a lot of energy that's like the astrological influences are very much geared towards new. And this energy is also talking about the illusion of these flowers, because white flowers in tarot represent innocence. And these flowers are not innocent. They are from the nightshade family, and this is Datra. And Datra is also sometimes called devil's trumpet, because it grows at night. Like the flowers bloom at night, and in the morning when you wake up and you look at the plant, it'll have double the flowers that it did the day before. And so it's a very beautiful plant, but if a child or a pet was to ingest it, they could become, ill. And so you would never let children play with this plant. And sometimes some shamans use Datra to, in their ceremonies, to produce visions, to heal the inner child. But that's for adults, and they know what they're doing. They've been doing it for centuries. The person in the background watching over the children is actually someone walking away. So this whole card can say there might be some illusions that you have about your childhood that maybe are going to, that are holding you back in some ways. And maybe this is some sort of information that's going to be coming in. I'm building a pyramid here, and this bottom row is kind of just giving us a sense of what's happening and like what tools do we need to get through it. We have an emperor here. So the emperor represents a high level performance. This is someone, the emperor's in major arcana, and he embodies the qualities of all four of the kings in the minor arcana. And so he's all about performance. He's wearing his armor underneath his robe, because if there's an opportunity that comes up, he's on it. And if he needs to, he'll fight for what he has to, but he doesn't ever fight unless he needs to. And this is kind of an energy of someone who's very wise. He has all the qualities of all the kings. This is someone who's a very high level performer. He would be someone that has, whatever profession he's in, he's at the top, and he's the alpha male. And people look up to him and go to him, for advice, that type of energy. So we have that emperor energy, and now we have the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups, we're talking about, it looks like a celebration here. This card, though, has kind of like an edge to it, because these three people are toasting each other, but no one's looking at each other. So they're really not toasting each other. They're toasting something that has happened, or an event, something going, whatever it is. Quite often this card can represent gossip and slander. So it's, and sometimes because cups are about romantic love, why are there three cups here? It doesn't really make sense for romantic love. And in many cultures, if you toast someone, and particularly in Europe, if you toast someone and you don't look them in the eye, they'll freak out on you, because they have a very deep superstition there, that when you toast someone and you don't look them in the eye, it causes 7 years of bad luck in your romantic love life, for them and for you. and they'll be like, look me in the eye. So this is this energy. It's just like, if this is about love, why are they not looking at each other and toasting each other? And sometimes I have found that this card can even represent, if there was a third party energy, this can represent that third party energy in, you know, in a couple's relationship. And we have, now we're going to go into the obstacles. Okay, so this is talking about the Five of Swords, is saying that there definitely is some conflict here. And this is sitting on this energy in the Emperor. So that's kind of interesting. We'll see. We'll keep that in mind. This energy can mean that you are having conflict outside of yourself, and you've had to take on these two people and fight for what's yours, basically. And this is representing cutthroat energy. The swords represent the energy of air, the element of air, and the swords represent your mental intelligence and discipline of your mind. They're also double-edged swords, representing that you need to use your intuition and your logic, just as we saw here. So this is saying that this is kind of like saying you have to take a risk sometimes and fight for what's yours. And sometimes it can be very cutthroat. Like, look at even the clouds are like, you know, that kind of energy. Sometimes this card can represent, this is you, and this is three versions of yourself. And, you know, we have the subconscious mind, which is formed by the time you're 6 or 7 years of age. And this mind is basically the thoughts of other people who raised you, and also the environment that you're in. When you think about a newborn baby, that energy, the environment, they're like a sponge and they soak it in at a very deep level. And also the thoughts and the words and like the culture, the religion of whoever's bringing them up. And so this energy is heavily imprinted on us. And by the time we're about, you know, in kindergarten is when we generally start to have our own memory. So the subconscious mind is heavily imprinted on us, and quite often we're using it well into our adulthood. And the thing is, when we get triggered and our emotions are high and we have to fight, that's the first mind that pops up. And it's not always the most reliable, because it's more what other people would do that raised you than what you yourself would do, but who they told you you were. And then we have your unconscious mind, which is your soul's needs, your spiritual needs. And a lot of people will recognize, yes, I'm a human being and I have a soul. But from the soul's perspective, you are a soul traveling in a human body. And this is your vehicle for navigating around planet Earth. And this energy can be like, the soul's needs aren't being met. The unconscious mind starts getting really loud and arguing with the subconscious mind. And then we have the conscious mind, which he has a handle on. He's holding this sword here. And this is like an energy like, I have a meeting today, it's at 1 o'clock. You go to the meeting, you have 3 points that you talk about. The meeting's over, you stop for coffee on the way home, and then you're making supper. And the next day you can remember all that, and you can remember what you talked about and what happened. So this is talking about your conscious mind. You're very aware of it. So if you can get these three working together, then you will have discipline of the mind, and it becomes quiet. And you can, the way to discipline your mind is through meditation and prayer. And that's, if you can get the three minds congruent with each other and they're working for you, your mind should work for you, not against you, so that it's quiet, and that you can, you can like flip a switch and turn it off and on, basically the way you need to, so that you can make strong choices that are not necessarily so emotional or, not clear. And so this energy is talking about, if you plug those three minds into your heart, then you're actually following your heart's desires, and this is like your authentic desires. So then that's when you really start manifesting, and you have a better lifestyle because of it. We have the energy of the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles is communication coming in. The pages would work for the king and queen when they were younger, sometimes even around the age of 7 to 14. You have to remember back in those days, the lifespan was like half of what we have now, basically. So people were working very early in life, and they would come from the surrounding families that were educated, you know, higher class families, and they would learn the ropes at the palace, and their main job would be to deliver communication. So of course, communication then was always in person, and generally it would always be male. So these days, this energy can represent communication coming in many ways. You could have a phone call, a text message, perhaps a letter in the mail or some documents. There could be an email, perhaps you're on social media, someone messages you, you see an event posted and you attend that event, and then you actually run into someone there that has the perfect information for you. Also, it's a really good idea to take a look, even for 5 minutes a day, what's going on at the top of the pyramid with the leaders of the countries, and the trends kind of that are going on, because that can be really beneficial. Whatever's happening at the top of the pyramid is going to have an effect on everyone below on some level. You know, it depends on what's going on. And so this energy can give you clarity about maybe the direction that you want to take. If you see something that, that's what I needed to know. And so this is talking about Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles is very focused on the pentacle, and he wants to learn how it works. Like how do I have a better lifestyle? Especially, you can imagine if someone comes into the palace and, you know, they live in a regular setting, and then all of a sudden they're introduced to how the royals live. It would be a very big education. And then we have the Lover's card coming in. So this is talking about the sun shining on a relationship here. And this generally will be like someone that you haven't had a relationship before. The clouds in between can represent that. You don't know each other, or you don't know each other that well. Or it could represent, because it's sitting on this card here, and with the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles isn't necessarily someone that is young when this information comes in, but it's being in that youthful energy under the age of 21, because when the pages turn 21, if they can afford a horse, and they've been doing a good job and they want to continue, they can sometimes be put up for knighthood. And so then they'll be going far and wide and, you know, protecting the palace, etc. But this energy, so this could be this could be someone from your past that you know from when you were like in high school or that age, you know, but it's not someone that you've had a relationship with before. This is someone that, or someone that you don't know at all. So this is talking about the sun is shining on this relationship. This is like a divine couple. Sometimes this is referred to as twin flame relationship. So it's one that's basically ordained by God, and it's a very strong relationship that will benefit you, usually, if it's handled correctly. The twin flame, I look at this more as a divine couple, this card, but the twin flame energy that a lot of people talk about, I feel is more like if you've ever had anything to do with identical twins. My mom and my aunt were identical twins. And that's a very different energy, and it's kind of like that, where you know each other so well, and you almost like it's like one soul in two people, basically. That kind of energy. But this is not necessarily talking about that. This could just be two people that meet, and it's ordained by God, and it's because you're both on your destined paths, and quite often it was destiny that at some point you would meet. And we have this energy of the star. So the star energy is talking about someone who's on their destined path. So that makes sense here. This is talking about like she is taking the energy, her special qualities, what she is like very good at, and she is pouring that into the universal pool, and then it's being poured out onto the earth to benefit the earth. And it has 5 streams here, and those 5 streams represent the 5 points on the pentacle star. This is the North Star energy, and it's talking about following your North Star so that you're on your destined path. And we have Okay, we have the Ten of Pentacles. So the Ten of Pentacles is talking about the most pentacles you can have. And so this would be like billionaire energy. This is like, you know, the potential being there. It's like you hit the golden buzzer. It's raining money. But it's not just about money, because you also have like the home where you wanted to be. You have the partner that you're enjoying. You enjoy each other's company and love each other. You have the 2.5 children, the pets, and you even have time to stop and chat with the neighbors. And so it's talking about having a beautiful lifestyle, like best lifestyle you can have in a perfectly imperfect world. And sometimes this card can even represent, like, if you have, like, it's a windfall that comes from a different source. Like, it could be, like, representing the energy of an inheritance coming in, or maybe you're in a legal situation and you win in court, or that, some sort of settlement, that kind of energy. And then we have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is the most loving queen out of all the queens. She's considered, and also the most maternal. She has this cup in her lap here, and it's like a trophy. And it has a lid on it because she is considered like a container of unconditional love. This would be someone who would be most likely in a traditional marriage and maybe a stay-at-home parent, you know, energy. Remember, the kings and the queens, just like the knights and the pages, can be, they're archetypes. So the queens can be men in their feminine energy as well as women in their feminine energy, and the males in the tarot can be females in their masculine energy. So it depends on how it works for you. And then we have, so this is like a trophy of love, basically, of unconditional love. And this also can sometimes represent the maternal bloodline. So your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, that kind of energy. And the DNA sometimes from that is coming up. And so we have, then look at this. This is really good energy. Now we've got the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles here. And it's when this new lover comes in. This information from about Pentacles comes in after conflict. Interesting. So this is talking about, again, now on top of having all the lifestyle and the trappings of the material world, you have the love of, you know, like, this is the potential to have all the love that you can have in the world. Like, you love your partner, you love your children, they love you, you love where you live, you love your neighbors, they love you, you love your career loves you, your clients, everybody. Like, it's a very fulfilling lifestyle, and it's talking about this is the potential to have that. You notice it's in a rainbow here. So this is talking about the fulfillment in a perfectly imperfect world. Because you're never going to, it would be, you might have moments of perfection, but you're probably not going to have absolute perfection 24/7 for the rest of your life, but the closest thing to it. And then we have someone who is multitasking here. So the Two of Pentacles represents this energy can be about multitasking and being busy. And so this is saying that, you know, that can be a continuous loop, but it can bring a lot of potential if you can multitask at a good, you know, if you're good at it. But what it's saying is, be careful that you don't multitask to the point where it gains so much momentum that you're just being busy to be busy. And then you just keep getting busier and busier, and you don't ever slow it down. And because then it becomes burdensome, and it can become like a, where you're getting more quantity done, but it's not quality, and then sometimes you have to go back and do things over. This also can represent, this Pentacles here is about juggling. And so you might be juggling your home life and your business life. You might go to school and be going to work to pay for it. You might be working 2 jobs to make ends meet, that kind of energy. And this says to juggle your options, but never ever juggle your morals. Whoops. This is why I'd like to wear thumbs so that the sleeves don't take apart my readings. We have this energy here of the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is talking about a divine partner energy coming in. So this may be when it comes in, when this shift starts happening, or maybe it's saying this cup of love is after this information of these pentacles, it looks like you have a lover and you start to shine, and then all this energy is coming through. And so the cup of love, the aces represent like new energy. And we're seeing quite a few aces these days in the readings because of in all the planets, there were those 6 planets that moved into Aries. If you want to know more about those astrological influences, I do have readings for the beginning, middle, and end of the month for each of the signs, and for the new moon and full moon readings as well as that. And so I mention it a little bit here, but those are readings within themselves if you're interested in those astrological influences. So this energy is talking about this everlasting love, like kind of like it's a fountain that just keeps refilling, and it's peaceful, and it's something you can count on, and it's something very beautiful and special. And if it's not romantic love, this could mean like having a lot of peace at work. Maybe you've got your degree now, so you don't have to work and go to school kind of energy. Things are improving in that way. Or maybe you went viral on whatever in your business, and you're doing really well, and things are running really smoothly. Oh, and just when I say that, look who shows up. So this is representing some sort of temptation coming through. This card is coming up a lot in the readings right now too, because I feel like a lot of that has to do with, like, we have the eclipse energy, we have the new year energy moving into the fiery horse energy, we have like all these planets that moved into Aries, and the last new moon was on April 17th. We moved into Aries with 6 planets there. So there's a lot of new energy out there. And now with yesterday Uranus going into Gemini, this is like shaking things up again. So a lot of people are tempted just to, take shortcuts, or they don't understand why things aren't working the way that they used to. And a lot of that has to do with that Neptune energy, or how we approach life. And so this, the devil, these two lovers are basically yoked to each other, and they're chained to Saturn's box, and they've got the devil in between them. He's hunched over them like this. This is representing animal instincts. So quite often this can represent lust over love kind of energy. And you notice the difference here with these lovers to this energy. And so instead of having like this cloud where you get to know each other better, you have this guy hunched there in between you. And so this energy can be a lot about temptation. And quite often, if there has been any conflict or whatever between family, friends, lovers, that kind of energy, this quite often can represent the third party energy, if there was that kind of energy going on here. So when this card comes up, I always cover it with the next card, because I want to know which minion does the devil send in, because he doesn't do his own dirty work. And what card covers it? Like, can we get some more information about what is this about? Or does God step in? What happens here? And we have the Six of Pentacles. So basically, what the Six of Pentacles is talking about planting seeds and sowing them, and now the harvest comes in. And sometimes this can represent breadcrumbing energy. So sometimes if it's sitting with the devil here, it can represent some sort of energy where someone has been trying to get their hands on this money, basically, and on the lifestyle, and possibly like the love. So it could be almost like someone wants to be you, a copycat energy, basically. And so this energy is talking about, it's learning how much to invest, who to invest in, and what you invest in. And it's talking about having that discernment about give and take in life, especially when it comes to business and pentacles and your lifestyle, etc. And so he's giving coin to this person, but not to this person. He's got the scales of justice over this person, representing, because this person already has something in his pocket. He's a grifter. And so this guy's like, I'm not giving you money. You already have what you need to move forward. He's judging him and not giving him the money. But sitting on this devil card, I would say that there could be some sort of energy here, like this conflict. And I don't know, usually the Emperor is a very steady person, and I've had a couple readings now where this Emperor keeps showing up and he's not in the upright energy. And it's sitting with the conflict, and he was actually sitting with the devil in one reading about 3 days ago. And this could be someone that is an authority figure that went rogue kind of energy. We'll see. And I did a reading, I think it was 2 days ago, and this energy was sitting and it was kind of at the top of the pyramid, and it was talking about, I think, more of a global event that is affecting all of us. So it is partly that, but I think in this reading, this is talking about us having to be careful of that energy. Like if you're looking up to someone, and they're not on the up and up, and you've always looked up to them and thought they were this person. We're finding a lot of that energy out there now, where the truth is coming out about some people that we were looking up to as mentors, and, in all sorts of professions, and now we're looking at them differently. And so that's and that Uranus energy is like that. It's like shocking, events happening and alliances changing and that type of energy. It can be really disrupting energy. And we have the wounded warrior here. So this is talking about this energy here. And you do come out victorious as a leader. So you do manage to land these wands. And I feel like, you're leaning heavy on a 9th one here. So you put at least one wand down representing someone in your life. And that's good, because when the karma comes in, you don't want to be caught in the middle of it. The wounded warrior energy represents someone who's done their best to stay on their destined path, and to do things the right way, and to stay in the game. This is saying that you're tired, though, that it's been a struggle, and even with all the good stuff coming in, there's still a lot of conflict around. But I feel like this is easing off. Of course, when I feel like this energy of this new lover coming in, it starts to balance things out a little bit. And, it's kind of like sometimes you don't even realize how stressed out you are until you're not, if you've ever been in that kind of energy. And we do have here the 3 of Pentacles, or 3 of Wands, I mean. And so this is someone who's standing on the precipice of change. And it's saying I don't want to be breadcrumbed anymore, and I don't necessarily have to do business with these people or even stay in this location. This can talk about actually moving. And it can also talk about leaving one relationship and becoming single. And I feel like that's what happens here. And then when this new love comes in, that's kind of when you make that choice. You know what? Let's move. Let's go be happy somewhere else. And that's the kind of energy. There's this looks like it could be sand, but it's actually water with the sun shining on it. And there's ships sailing by, and this person's thinking, I'd like to just hop on one of them babies and go for an adventure. And this sometimes can represent leaving a couple and becoming single, or it can represent becoming a couple and moving forward together. So, and sometimes it can represent both. I feel like there was a relationship, and maybe you're divorced now, and that was a lot of inner conflict and outer conflict, that energy. And then also, then you meet someone, and maybe that new energy now is the person that now you're deciding, okay, I'm going to move forward. And it could be like even if it was like not about romantic love, but it's about business. It could be finding someone that you really resonate with in business and it working out really well. Because look at this, we have the Three of Pentacle energy here. Quite often that'll show up with this Devil. And this represents there could be a collaborated effort of people getting together to cause conflict for you because they want this. And that's the energy. And there's gossip and slander and gaslighting and all sorts of energies out there. Sometimes that energy can be, here you are in an elevated position and you're doing really well. You are a leader by this point and you're doing really well. You've landed these wands. People recognize you as a leader. But it's almost like the experience has shown you, like, when you know what you know and you've seen what people are really about. And it's kind of like, wow, I don't even want to be around these people anymore. And now they're starting to want to be around you because now you're in an elevated position again. And so this is talking about being very careful when you make alliances, new alliances right now. Remember what I said, when Neptune, or not Neptune, but when Uranus moves into Gemini energy, there's going to be, it shakes things up. And so, it's kind of like, if there's a lot happening in the politics at the top, you can bet that there's a bunch of action happening there, and people, like, the systems are changing. And those changes can have pretty major effects on people, but if you're not paying attention, you kind of miss it. So this is talking, sometimes it can even be secret societies wanting to hire you and wanting you to come work for them. And sometimes those alliances are not in alignment with how you want to live your lifestyle. So you have to be really careful of that energy. When, like, a lot of times if it's those clubs where you're not invited to be in it, and if you don't become part of their club, then you're kind of like left out in the cold in that energy. And a lot of the people that you thought were your friends, you find out now that they're not. You find out the people maybe that that you used to consider really close friends weren't there for you when you were in conflict at all, and they were causing some of it. You find out that maybe the person you thought was your best friend was actually having an affair with your partner. It's that type of energy. And with this, I'm not saying that's happening to everyone, but it can be. And you gotta, like, if your intuition is telling you, something is going on, you need to listen to it so that you are on the up and up. And, look into things if your intuition is telling you, hey, there's something going on here. Look into it before it becomes like a tower. And look at, now there's like the big information coming in. So I feel there was some information here where you started to make this shift, and you let people know, I will fight for what I'm you're not taking from me what is mine. And now it's kind of like a lot of information is coming out, and now there's some information coming in more again. And this is like from a it's interesting because when we see the Page of Pentacles, and I've been seeing this a lot, and it hasn't been in other readings, it's just been in the last month or so, where a lot of the pages that come out, the same night comes out. So it's talking about some, this could be like something that's been happening with Pentacles since you were like young, and there's people that have known about it. There's some sort of information here that when you learn what it is, it's going to be life-changing for you. I feel like it's going to maybe skeletons coming out of the closet, something's going on kind of energy. So this is good. This is the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. And so this information could take forever to come in, or it feels that way. But the good news is when the Knight of Pentacles delivers his message, it's usually a pretty solid offer, and the research has been done, and it's not AI generated kind of energy. And because there's this breadcrumbing energy. What is this about? It's starting down here, like and we have this reconciliation and going back to the family energy. And so this could be talking about something that's been going on for a long time that you maybe it's behind the scenes and you're not aware of. And then the truth comes out. There we have it. So the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. So this is a gift from God, that you will know the truth about your situation 100%. And it's the decision when you decide that, hey, I'm moving on. I don't want to be hanging around with these people anymore. I want to make new alliances. I found out some, like, when you're in this position and you're fighting for what truly belongs to you, and the people you're fighting are the ones that you fight, like, that you thought that would be supporting you, you don't feel the same way about anything anymore after that. And so it's talking about there is some sort of juggling of morals here, that kind of energy. So we have this energy of going from the bottom here. This is like the queen she's resourceful, but she shouldn't have to be that resourceful, because this is generational wealth. But this situation, and it's talking about her having this could be the same queen, but this could also be your mother, your grandmother, down your maternal line, something to do with that. Maybe it's some sort of an inheritance or a trust or some land or because quite often the pentacles can represent real estate. And this is talking about moving forward and making new alliances, having the truth, having the information coming in and being really clear on it. And this energy, finding out who was involved maybe in causing all this conflict. And this is, I feel, talking about like this new love coming in, this new energy is just like a flowing lifestyle that you deserve after all the conflict you've been on, because you've been doing your best to stay true to yourself, stay on your path. And I feel like there's probably been a lot of gossip and slander and that kind of energy, but this is saying that you will be victorious here. So this is, I'm going to clarify this for those of you who want clarification. If you are done with this reading here and you're like, okay, I have enough knowledge here, thank you for your time and energy. And I will, give it a like and comment if you've benefited from it. It really does help me with my channel. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to clarify, and this is with my oracle, Tales from the Vector. And Tales from a Vector is an oracle I started back in 2007. In 2020, I completed all 64 paintings. I'm an artist, and so I have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and I have the paintings listed in the gallery. So the cards that I'm using here are the numbers of the paintings in the gallery. We have this energy is from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. So I will put in the description box below the numbers of these cards in the order they appear in this reading, and then you can go there and take a look at it if you want. They say a picture paints 1,000 words, so the star energy is coming up here again, and this is talking, you are a star, in case you didn't know it. And this is being in this energy of leadership. And we have justice coming in over this generational wealth. So there's something going on there, possibly, for you, especially when this could be a windfall in some sort of way with that energy. And it could be, maybe someone in your family passes on and in their will they left you money, and that's coming up for you. I mean, it's sad too, but everybody crosses the veil at some point, and it might be someone that, has put you in your will, and that money comes in, or you win a lottery. It's this kind of energy sometimes represents that kind of energy. We have the Magician. So this is talking totally an energetic upgrade. When the Magician is representing infinite potential, you have the tools you need. You just need to learn how to use them, and then you need to use the right tool at the right time. And it's a huge energetic upgrade when you get into this energy. This is a karmic space intent. So you can have the best intentions in the world. You may have noticed this. Things don't always go the way we expect them to. So the road to hell can be paved with good intentions. And so this is talking about, you know, you have good intentions, or maybe these other people had good intentions, and then things kind of go sour, or something happens, and the next thing you know, everything's changing. And that's this Uranus energy. It's kind of like, and it's going to be with us till 2032. There's some really good things about it, and then there can be, you know, some more challenging things. We have the moon energy. We have a full moon coming up on May the 1st, and this moon is in the sign of Scorpio. I'm just finishing up the readings for those. I've been posting them. I just have 3 left to do. So if you want to know about the full moon energy, you can go to my playlist, Full Moon, New Moon, and find out for your sign there. I also have this Empress energy coming in. It's what this is saying. It's kind of interesting because there's 3 here. This energy could be, you know, this could have been really challenging for you. This could be like best friends, even siblings, you know, family members or whatever. And when that happens, where you thought they would be there for you and they're not, that energy quite often can elevate you to the Empress energy, because you have to stand on your own, and then you find out that you can. And so it's a weird thing, but sometimes when this kind of really difficult energy happens in your life, it actually elevates you to a much higher level. And then when you attract your new lover coming in, this is like a way stronger energy for you. So in the end, it benefits you, but at the time it doesn't feel so good. And this is talking about people having foolish expectations. Sometimes people will feel that your journey is better than their journey, and they want what is supposed to be destined for you. And, you know, expectations will always create limitations. If you're trying to, you can only pretend to be someone else for so long, and then it's going to catch up with you. Because, you know, it's just not possible to be someone else. And if you're going against God's plan, you know, God's going to win. So, you know, it's why wouldn't you just put your attention towards your skills? Everybody has their own special talents, and to be jealous of, you know, want to be someone else or want what they have, it's like wasting all of your talent. And it's a sad thing to see when someone doesn't love themselves enough to be themselves, you know what I mean? And to work on that. So this is talking about wishing upon a star. So wishes are like intentions, and that's talking about this energy here, the rainbow energy. You know, you can wish for something, but you know, you can wish upon a star. But if you just sit there and you wait, you could wait there for the rest of your life in it, and you're, you know, expecting it to just drop in your lap is probably very unrealistic. You need to have a good attitude and be able to participate in the energy. You know, if you want a strong future, you need to participate in it. The sun is shining on this energy though, so it's talking about, it's sitting right on this, is for you. And that's reiterating what I said here, that this is God's plan for you to have this. They're not going up against you, they're going up against God at this point. So they're not going to win. God always wins in the end. And sometimes God gives us a really long leash so that we, because we have, we're given choice. And when we hook up with the devil, we give away our choice. And that's one of the, like, to give up your choice is like, oh my goodness, you give up your freedom. And that's why here also it's so important, because if you end up in that energy, you can end up like not being able to be yourself anymore. And then we have the need to be right. So this is another karmic space. You know, sometimes we need to be right, and sometimes we just don't want to be wrong. So this is about, you know, don't make molehills out of mountains, and don't make mountains into molehills. Sometimes you need to be right, and there's such a thing as, you know, the need, like where it's like it could be life and death. You need to be right about the next step you take. And at other times, you could let something go, and you don't have to make a mountain out of a molehill just because I have to be right kind of energy. And that's a karmic space that people can fall in. And then instead of being happy, you're right. But, you know, if you have to be the one who's right every single time, then it means that everybody else around you has to be wrong. And so that's not a pleasant energy to be in. We have the Leo energy, and this is again, Leo is ruled by the sun. It's talking about natural born leader energy. And, you know, this is, the wands do represent the fire, and that Leo is a fire sign. The thing is about the Leo energy, I just want to point this out because this is the first horoscope sign that is shown up here. When the horoscope signs show up in my collective readings, I'm not talking about an individual. I'm talking about the quality of that sign. What can we learn from it? We all have a little bit of each sign in us, or most of them. And we can learn from them and, you know, figure out the different energies. And quite often they'll just represent like the energy astrologically that's coming in for the planet. Leo energy, they're natural born leaders, very charismatic generally. People really, Leos are a lot of fun to be around. And but the thing is if you think about the stage of life is kind of like, think about teenage boys that are really impulsive. And so quite often Leos sometimes will come off as being arrogant because they don't have the confidence to be a leader yet, but they can feel it in them. It's that kind of energy. So this is, you know, sometimes it takes Leos a while to mature into that energy, and that's what this is talking about, reining in your emotions and being, you know, disciplining your mind so that you're making strong choices is what makes you a good leader. And then we also have the Aries energy coming in. So this is talking again about all those planets moving into Aries, and the new energy, the ace is coming in here and embracing the new energy and being in a, you know, being in a position where you where you can embrace this energy instead of fighting it. Because if you fight, like, you don't want to be sitting in a position like with Neptune, the idealism, and I always have done it this way and it's always worked before. If I do it this way, it's going to work. That energy is exactly that Neptune energy, and Neptune is moved into Aries for 14 years. And it's going to be that way for 14 years, basically. And then it'll move on again, and it won't be back in how it was. It'll be in another new energy. So if you fight it, it can be really challenging. And then we have the world energy coming out here. Neutrality, you know, we have to, like, we can't, like, it doesn't pay to worry about things. Like, you know, it's better just to get the information that you can get and then make the best decisions you can, and that's the best you can do, really. And so this is talking about, it's not to confuse neutrality with indifference, but being able to get neutral enough to the information that you're not freaked out by it. And, you know, if there's change coming in, not getting all upset about it and fighting it, but like being able to calm yourself down and be able to look at it with your intuition and feel like, okay, what do I really want here? Because sometimes the very thing we're fighting is the very thing that we actually want. You may have noticed that as well. So this is a really good reading. It has some really good information in it. Give it a like and comment, please, if you have learned something from it. I really appreciate it because it helps me build my channel. Consider subscribing. I'd be honored if you did so. And I will be back with another reading for you again tomorrow. Bye for now. Oh, come here, little kitty. Were you having a good sleep?